banded together and came together as a group, and they, they worshipped Haile Selassie, and they believed in him, and they built communities, and they withdrew from society. But where they got into a lot of conflict is part of their philosophy is looking at all that is natural and believing that everything is a gift from God. And so with the use of marijuana, what they call ganja, which, they would smoke and get inspired.
It's part of their religion.
It's part of their religion, and it comes out of, this is natural, and, it's a gift of the earth. Mm-hmm. And they sign the Bible somewhere in Revelations that says, and the leaves of this tree shall be used for the healing of the nation. Mm-hmm. And so it was very clear to them that this herb was a gift from God and should be used. But going back to Haile Selassie, keep in mind, 1934, he was the only black emperor in the world. Mm-hmm. Dignitaries from all over the world came to his coronation, and this made all the papers.
He's a small man, but
that's right, a small man. That's right, a small man, very impressive. But the role of Ethiopia, but also the role of this, think what it was. It wasn't just for Jamaicans, but black people across the world to see dignitaries from all over the world, white, pink, green, coming, coming together in Addis Ababa to see the coronation of this man. And biblically, we can trace just his heritage right back to the time of Solomon. And at his coronation, the lineage in Ethiopia was certain the longest reigning monarchy, even longer than the British.
And I can't let you go unless I have to ask this little series of questions, because this is an interesting thing. That island, our island, is fully dependent on tourism. In recent years, there have been some fairly brutal incidents in Jamaica, not involving tourists, but involving Jamaicans. And in particular, gay Jamaicans have had a terrible time, largely in Kingston, people getting murdered in their front yard while the police watch with machetes. I mean, just as brutal a description as you can imagine. What's up with this in contemporary Jamaica, if you have a sense? And you grew up there, so you have some idea of what the ingredients of the society are.
That's right. That's a good question. I think there has always been a strong homophobic tendency in Jamaica, either coming from biblical interpretation or coming from the African identity in Jamaica.
But stronger than other places? Barbados, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Cuba?
That's hard to, I would say yes, but have no real way of qualifying that or saying more about that. But that has always been there. And I think especially too from the dancehall music, that sends out this refrain over and over again that you should beat the homosexual and you should kill them, and that has been in the news here, over the last 6 months, where more and more Jamaican singers who advocate that kind of a position are not allowed to perform in the U.S. How much that affects tourism, I'm not sure, because I think in defense of Jamaica, or in defense of reality, I have to say that many of the people who come to Jamaica as tourists, the large majority, probably come from that same mindset. I wouldn't expect that many of the young college students or many of the families coming to Jamaica as tourism have a liberal view of gays and lesbians. Either way, as a religious person and as a priest, that is certainly not my philosophy. I don't think I'm unique in Jamaica in that way. I think you can find many people, and for the most part, a large number of Jamaicans who would not advocate that barbaric treatment of anybody. And so it's very complex how Jamaicans live out of what I call this dual, almost hypocritical understanding of what it means to be righteous, you know, because the very same people who are committing adultery, fornication, who are stealing, and this, that, or the other, become so biblical
on this topic,
around this interpretation of what they believe, you know, is God's law.
Well, so Jamaica is as close as Cambridge. And it's got a little bit of Jamaica in the government here, so
that's right.
we're trying to contribute as taught and led. So, Mark Bozzuti-Jones, you are an extraordinary asset to the city of Cambridge. And on the saddest note, we know we're going to be losing you soon. You will be moving to New York City, where you have been called to the famous and great St. Bartholomew's Church, Park Avenue, I call it. So they will love you some, but I hope that you'll always keep this Cambridge time in a special place and consider having more of it as you progress in and through life. But it has been our great pleasure to frame your Cambridge moment with some real discussion of what it means to be Jamaican.
Well, thank you very much, and it's certainly an honor being here in Cambridge and meeting so many Jamaicans, and thank you for this opportunity. Hope I did it justice, and again, just to remind you all that, you know, Jamaica is just as complex as any group, and with different voices and different personalities and different experiences. Well, but thank you very much.